I think this episode will be an interesting one.
Inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah.
The Business Lab.
Welcome, guys, to yet another episode of the Business Lab podcast. Today we have another guest, and he is the founder of Cipta Rasa Caferia. He is Mr. Shahrizan.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Alhamdulillah, very nice to have you here. Today's episode is sponsored by IT Entity and Crowd by 3, and of course our media magicians, Studio 5 Corp. We'll dive straight into it with Mr. Shahrizan.
Certainly.
And I'm very curious to know, could you tell us a little bit more about Cipta Rasa Caferia?
Cipta Rasa Caferia. The coming of Cipta Rasa Caferia initially is run actually by my one generation before me. That's mean my uncles and my father. However, along the way, it left with my father and my mother. And I was in a corporate world before that, doing service. So I have a lot of free time in my hand. What actually happened is, so I say, okay, I'm going to open another one. Right? And why? Because I got too much of my time and I want to spend my time more constructively rather than destructively, for that matter. So when I started out this business, it wasn't for the main purpose of profit or making money out of it. I know it's a taboo topic among all business owners. The reason being why I can say that is because my wife and I, we are both employed, and we are very comfortable with our income. So we don't feel the pressure of needing the income to sustain our daily life. In fact, we are running a loss for about 3 months. First 3 months we're running a loss. And when my mother questioned me about it, how do you feel about it? I'm fine. I'm still comfortable, alhamdulillah. So as month 4 came about, we start generating profit, little bit, 500. I say, yeah, let's have a good dinner.
Where does that come from?
Sorry?
Where does that come from? That
What
state
do
of
you
mind, and state of how you perceive the business?
Of course, I wouldn't say, I'd be lying if I say I go into this business with a business plan, step 1, step 2, step 3. No, it does not. It was blind. But fortunately, alhamdulillah, there's a lot of people who help me. I have a lot of people who help me. Basically, my parents does help me.
Okay.
They are experienced staff who help me in running this. So I learn bit by bit by bit by bit. And when people ask me, oh, you are in certain position or whatever, not, are you really willing to do this kind of dirty job? I say it's fine. I mean, service is service. To me, it does not matter.
Service is service, right? What do you mean by that?
Okay. When you open a store, right? For example, sell fried rice for that matter, right? And somebody come to you, buying your $4, $5 fried rice. You're selling him something, and he is supporting you. You must know where your position is. You're a service provider, right? Or you open a restaurant selling Wagyu steak at $120.
Right.
And you're serving that person. Should you treat him differently? No. Because the person position is still the same as a person who buy $4, $5 fried rice from you. He's still supporting you. So that's what I mean. You must know the position you're in. Of course, $4, $5, you cannot be spending half an hour with the person, right? I mean, I do understand that. But at the same time, it does not entitle you to be rude or to be condescending just because you pay $4, $5 against a person who spent $120.
Beautiful. What I'm getting from this is that it's not the amount someone pays, but it's the reality of who you are serving that matters the most.
It's not so much about who you are serving, your position in the business it is.
As a service provider.
As a service provider. If you open a business, you don't want to be a service provider, that's fine. You hire somebody to be a service provider. Right. And the person have to know that they are a service provider.
Okay.
Right?
Right. So I understand for the business, that's like wholesome local food, right? Could you tell us a little bit more, like what are some of the services that you provide currently?
Oh, we took out about four spaces in Orchard, in Lucky Plaza, in the same area at level 1, different how should I say, different units for that matter, serving different kind of food, different menu, right? So down there we just serve as much as whatever we can, whatever we think is good enough to be served, number 1. Number 2, we make sure the price matches or cheaper than HDB. Why we do that is because, like I say, when we started out this business, it's not so much about the money. It's for the learning new experience. I mean, try to get my time occupied with something constructive. Right?
Yeah.
You know, I was young. Can do a lot of stupid things last time. So, yeah, keep myself busy basically. Yeah.
Right. So it's really, I mean, the large team, then the overarching team I'm hearing is really the profit versus the service itself. Right? It's not the profit per se.
Like I say, I always believe there's always 2 things to entrepreneurship. Okay, which people understand. The first, I mean, not say 2 things, 1 question. The first question you need to ask yourself, why you do this? Is it passion or is it purpose? What is your purpose? Where you understand in your position in the society? Where do you understand in the position of, let's say, in the industry? Right? And passion normally entails a lot of specialized skill. Like, for example, in my industry, a person I'm passionate about cooking good food.
Yeah.
That is passion, hard skill. Right? Unlike me, I don't do that. Right? Or maybe a person who is very good at coding and say, I want to code the best program or whatever. Not. That is hard skill. Yes. So you pursue. So you need to ask yourself, why? Why do you come into this business? Passion or purpose?
I think first and foremost, we need to understand how the interior design industry works here in Singapore. So majority of the IDs or the people who work within the interior design companies, most of them are actually freelancers. They are not employed based on a full-time basis, so they work on a commission basis. So. And some business models or some ID companies want to have a lot of ID so that they can close a lot of projects on. My personal tip here is start with visiting the IDs that you have shortlisted or you're interested in. Look at their place of work, look at how they work, look at their office. Once you have done that, I think what you should also do here is to ensure that these IDs that you potentially want to engage are HDB licensed. Last but definitely not least, and to me the most important, because I think nobody do this. Okay. Once you have confirmed, or let's say for example, you really want to sign with this ID company, right? Go to Accra website and pull out the company's profile. Firstly, you know who are the directors, you know where is their office, you know when they were incorporated. Most importantly, you know how much they actually put in as the initial investment or the capital. So in the context of my industry, right, the ID industry, right, I always advise my clients, don't look for cheap, look for value. Okay? Because cheap don't guarantee you that you're going to get what you want. Okay? Because in order to be cheap, there are corners that I need to cut. But instead look for value. And when I talk of value here, it's not just what I use to build your home, how I communicate with you, how prompt am I, how am I, how I can advise you. These are all the value I add. So like for us, because I maintain a very small team, right? So we only manage between 2 or 3 projects a month. We don't do a lot of projects. So this way, my people are better at managing that project. We are at site more frequent. We are constantly there to check if there are mistakes being made. And our communication with the owners are more frequent, more kira macam more in depth. We are able to. Yeah, correct.
certain thing, right? So that's tough because some people just wouldn't listen. But at the same time, now I'm in this industry for quite a while and gone through maybe hundreds of employees, right? We have to understand one thing. As much as you can choose the employee can choose who they work for.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, so it's a matter of give and take. So my take is the lesson I learned. Pay, yes, it's important to everyone. You need to give them a basic livable salary, right? But next, what is most important is their welfare. Welfare, when you can touch on them, you can connect with them through welfare, meaning you give them time off to spend time with family, ample time. Give them that work-life balance, which I did not disagree. Give them the work-life balance they ask for. Anytime my staff want to take leave, go ahead. Giving them the standard leave a year, sure, finish. Say, boss, I need to take no pay leave. Go ahead. We'll work it out for you.
Why do you think that's so important?
Okay, why family is important, especially your wife, your kids, your parents for that matter, right? Why? Family is important. It's important to somebody. It's a soul to somebody, right? Without family, then we all become hikikomori. We just sit at home, disconnect to the world, become a recluse, become a hermit. And that's not very productive either.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes why people work hard? When people say, why do you work hard? I work hard for my wife, I work hard for my family, I work hard for my mother, my father, my children.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think apart from working hard, they also need to see you are there to spend time with the whatever extra that you brought us to the family.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm hearing like that really grounding yourself in the purpose and is related to family is very big part of life.
Of course. Family is a big part of life.
What were the other challenges? I understand the first one you mentioned was manpower.
Yeah.
What would be another challenge that you had to face?
Oh wow, challenges would be external context, I would say, because you meet people. Be it friends, supplier, your clients or your customer for that matter.
Yeah.
Right? Every one of these guys, except for your childhood friends and your school friends, every one of them wants something from you. And you want something from them. Now you need to strike a balance. Right? There are people who promise you A and deliver you B. Some people promise you A and don't deliver at all. So you need to identify those people. But of course you get beaten once or twice, right? And just move on, learn from it, move on. Learn from it, move on.
That's the thing though, Shahrizan, you mentioned about moving on, right? So I mean, when we speak to entrepreneurs, we understand there's a lot of challenges when it comes to people, right?
Yes.
How do you get yourself to move on from those difficult experiences with people or with business environments? What was going on through your internal world?
How I manage it?
Yeah.
Well, number one, don't get emotional. I say you lose 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, 20,000, you can get that back. Give and take, lesson to be learned. Of course, as a Muslim, I always rely on God and always say that if this is a lesson I need to learn, this is a lesson I need to learn.
The radar. Yeah. I think that's
because if you harbor that ill feeling, it's tough. It's tough. And when you are driving, when your mind a bit blank and you start thinking about it and you just get angry. Why?
So it's like a very human thing.
Correct, right? You get frustrated, of course. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't go through all these emotions and whatnot.
For sure.
Of course I do.
Right.
But like I say, I'm pushing to half a century now, right? So these are the lessons that I say that I can
Yeah.
do without.
Thank you. Thank you for mentioning that. Knowing what you know now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What are some of the things that you kind of learned only now and that you didn't realize when you were younger?
Yeah. Okay. Very important lesson for young people. Listen to the elder. Learn from their experience. Take their lesson by heart. Of course, with a grain of salt sometimes. But the thing is, when we are young, before I'm pushing 50, I was 20, I was 17, right? We tend to say, your time and my time is different. Yes, the environment changes, but the journey is the same. It's just the way is different. A good example. Last time people want to cheat you, they go to you, they say, hey, take your money. Now it's by phone call, scam. But what's the bottom line? Still take your money, right? It's just the environment different, method is different. True. But the lesson is the same.
And why would you say that this was a lesson that stood out for you?
Because I have children. And I keep reminding them, like my eldest daughter, she's sitting for her A-level this year, right? And she said, no, your time is soon. No. You must remember, before I'm 50,
right,
I'm 18. And I still sit for my A-level.
Yeah. Some things
might be different, right? Like now they have SLS. They don't have lectures anymore. I said, what, really? No lectures? They say, yeah, no lectures. Cool. And I was like, last time I have to go to lecture room, do lecture. No, JC, no lecture. Things are different. But it's still the same, still A-level.
Okay. Yeah. I'd like to pivot the conversation and perhaps look at the lens of the community kind of service that Cipta Rasa also is involved in, right? What's the role you feel that the business plays a part in contributing back to the community?
Okay. I'm not going to mention any organization or what, but
sure.
Any community, organization that comes to us and say, I need this sponsor, I need to do this, I need to do that. Sure, we support you. I say we support you. And whatever you need, within our capability, of course, right? And if I cannot help you in this way, I help you another way. And alhamdulillah, when I partake in all these activities, I make a lot of friends who are, same-minded. And wow, they are great people. There are so many people like us. There are so many. And we actually form like a gang. I wouldn't say a community, but we are friends. So,
right.
And all from different industry. And we support each other. And I say, wow, alhamdulillah, sustainable. I say, if all these people, I look at them all from different industry, construction, renovation, travel agent, right, F&B myself and a few others.
Right. If
we were to congregate, wow, with like-mindedness, actually can do a lot of things. But unfortunately, most of them are old. Actually, in fact, all of them are older than me, right? Okay. And I'm already pushing 50. So our desire to make big businesses like sudah lah.
I wanna see you fight, 'cause you are the real beauty. rise.
So they're still in the race. Sustainability makes sure the business works. Still in the race. When it's no longer in the race, you can't achieve sustainability, that means the business go under, liquidated, that means you're out of the race. Doesn't matter you're number 1 this year, number 3 next year, the following year, number 100, you're still in the race.
Wow, that's a very interesting thought, because most people would think, hey, I have to be number 1, 2, 3.
Correct.
But hey, if I'm number 8, where do I stand now?
Correct.
Right? So what you're saying is, look at the fact that you're still in the race.
Correct. And push to be number 1. Singapore Airlines is number 2 now.
Right? So what does it mean then? Like, so many people are looking at the top 1, 2, 3, but no one's looking at, hey, if I'm number 100, then what happens to me?
I think that will be self-serving. I would think. That's my point of view. Self-serving. Of course, being number 1, number 2, number 3, you get more business, you get more contracts and whatnot. But at the same time, of course, more, your staff can get more, you can get more. Right? But you fall down to number 5. Does it put any less food on your table? First, foremost, before we go for number 1, number 2, number 3, I think we should focus on sustainability. And of course, sustainability, the remuneration that you get for yourself, right?
Yeah.
I think that one only you can answer, how much you need.
Right.
Right?
Depends on the needs. Right?
Correct. And
Okay.
needs, and of course some wants.
Right.
Right.
I'm curious to know, like, what are some of the practical strategies that you recommend business owners to help them get more sustainability in their businesses?
Okay. Number 1, I this one I notice a lot. People tend to buy things more than what they need. Right. Okay, I'll go as an example. Your business need a commercial vehicle, right? But I don't have much things to ferry all the time, right? And then you buy a NV350. It's a big Nissan, big, whereby a NV200 is good enough. NV200 probably costs about 95,000. Okay, I'm not promoting Nissan, just an example. Okay, NV350 probably costs about 135, 140,000. I said, I might as well just get a big one. But they mustn't forget, the bigger the car, the bigger the CC, the bigger the van, the bigger the CC, the more for petrol, the higher for maintenance. Don't buy things just because the future need it. We do not know. But buy the things that you need. Like my children, get a new phone. I say, Papa, say, I want an iPhone. Sure. Which one? I said the 512. Why? Do you need that space? Do you need that kind of performance? What are you doing with your phone? I need a Pro 512. Why? Then I will explain to them. Buy what you need.
Yeah.
Don't buy excessively. This one. Right?
Buy what you need, not in excess.
Correct.
Right?
And some people they like to buy the used car for their business, right?
Right.
I think that is not very wise also. Why I say that? Yes, it can double as a family outing and whatnot, but the main purpose, 80% of the time you use that vehicle for your business. Incur more mileage, and if you carry heavy things, a lot of wear and tear, it's just going to incur more costs. So think 1 step, 2 step further.
Wow.
These
Okay.
are the things that we can help eliminate unnecessary costs.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing on these very practical strategies on sustainability.
Correct.
Perhaps a word of advice for viewers, either young entrepreneurs or existing entrepreneurs. What would be the one takeaway that you would like all of them to take from this episode?
Now I say pay homage to your seniors, I would say. Listen to their advice, listen to what they have been through, learn from that lesson, so that you don't have to go through it. Or even when you face it, you have options. Rather than you face it and you not sure where do I go from here. Right?
And what is it about that lesson that you think is important for us to take?
Like I say, a good example, like what I tell you, buy what you need, not excessively, just in case you prepare for the next one, which don't know whether coming or not. Yeah. Or maybe when it comes, the things that you bought already obsolete. And you already paid maintenance, you already paid extra, whatever, not for nothing. You really need to, you must look after your money, basically.
A lot of gems, wisdom, nuggets of wisdom, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for your time.
You're most welcome.
And I hope you guys have benefited so much from the insights and strategies shared. Thank you so much to our sponsors, ID Entity and Crab by 3 and our Media Magicians Studio 5 Corp. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Please share the podcast episode to all of your friends and comment. We're on LinkedIn, we're on TikTok, Facebook, wherever you get your podcasts. And thank you so much. We'll catch you for the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.